Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really trying to solve this like glare on my glasses problem, but I also know that this is the best lighting. I keep saying this in every video, no one cares. I'm starting a reading vlog and I'm starting a new book, obviously. So I thought I'd intro the book before I got halfway through it. This is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. This was in my previous video, I'm hoping it's the previous video. It's the video where I talked about 5 new releases for 2025 that need to be on your TBR, and I'm finally getting to this one. I'm really excited. This one is a horror fantasy book, so I'm curious to see if I like the horror element, if I actually will feel like scared. I don't know. I don't really read horror. I never gravitate towards them. I don't pick them up. So yeah, I mean, this color is gorgeous, stunning. It's giving vampire. It's giving Vampire Academy. So I just realized this one window. I love analyzing the covers of books. I don't know if anyone else does this, but I'm so I take a lot of like attention to detail when it comes to covers. Maybe because I'm a visual person and I like imagery and I like seeing what authors do with the covers, because I think they're so, it's like a thumbnail. It's like a thumbnail to a video. Anyways, no one cares. But I just noticed this window is white. Is that a clue? I don't know. Anyways, this is the current read. I'm gonna get stuck in. Yeah, I'm very excited. Is there any other updates I can give? I don't think so. It's such a bright weather update, obviously. It's so bright and sunny outside, like it's not even freezing. I'm wearing shorts because I am trying to convince myself it's not that cold, even though it's literally July. But anyways, doesn't matter. I'm very excited to be inside and reading a book. So yeah, these are the vibes. I'm gonna stop yammering and I'm gonna start reading. And I hope you guys enjoy this reading vlog, and I'll see you guys whenever I speak to you next. It is Sunday. I have another reading update. It's been about a week since I told you that I was starting this book, Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I'm really annoyed at myself because I haven't made as much progress as I would have liked to through this book, and I think that is only my fault. So today's the day. I'm knuckling down. I'm just gonna put my head down and try and read as much of this as I can, because my fear is that sometimes with books, this is my fear, if I read a little bit each day and it takes me weeks to get through, then I think the book is really slow or dragged out or it has bad pacing, but that's just because I'm reading it in not a great way, and I'm dragging out the reading process. So that's why I'm like, I need to make sure I have some solid reading time, that I can get through a big chunk of this so I can get a good a proper understanding of this book, and like if I like it or not. Otherwise I'm just gonna be going off. Yeah, anyways, I need to knuckle down and give this book a real good chance. But so far, what I've read, I thought I'd give you my thoughts. It's the horror element hasn't really stepped up yet for me anyway. There was like a slight bit, there was like one small scene and it got a little bit gory, but then it went away and it has not really returned. There's a little bit of like gross scenes in the book, like, but it's nothing, I wouldn't say it's nothing bad, and definitely nothing scary, like nothing horror. So I don't know if it's going to just suddenly drop. Like, I don't know if it's going to hit the fan and it's going to go insane, or if that's just the general mood of the whole book. But I'll tell you guys at the end anyway. The fantasy element, I would say, for this book is, it's not like hardcore fantasy, like a romantasy novel or anything. I feel like the fantasy element is like it reminds me a lot of like how many times can I say like a fantasy, like folklore, whimsical kind of element is how the fantasy element is in this book. It's, yeah, a little bit more subtle, it's a bit more childlike, I would say, a bit more innocent. I say with this cover, which looks insanely like demonic looking, but you get what I mean. It's not quite that. Again, I don't know if it will step up and everything will become to another degree, but that's just what it is so far. I'm making it sound kind of bad, but it's actually, I'll give you like the good things. I really am enjoying the story and the characters. It's historical fiction, so I feel like the time and the place and the setting is very, like, I'm very immersed, and it's like believable to me, so that's good. And the characters are just great. They're very unique and they blend together really well. So yeah, I actually am enjoying the story. I have this thing where I think if a book is not this peak, like, amazing book, it's bad. But actually this book it's not to that point yet. Maybe it will be, but it's still like really solid. Like, I would say it's still such an enjoyable read, and it's fun. It's definitely fun. But yeah, we have not gotten anything scary or gory or yeah, like I have to close my eyes or close the book or anything like to that extent. So I feel like it's pretty safe right now. I don't know if I'm going to take back everything I've just said, but that's where I'm at. I'm at page 148, and I think there's like 500 pages, I think there's 500. Yeah, there's like 480 pages, so yeah, that's my thoughts so far. Okay, it's Monday. It's the next day since I last updated you, and I thought I need to give another update because I have made some progress and there are things that need to be said. So the sun is going down, so I'm like trying to film this real quickly before it gets really dark. But what did I want to say? Okay, so the first thing I remember saying was how the horror element wasn't quite coming through in this book. I would say since that point, it's definitely stepped up in terms of there's been a little bit more gore. Like, again, like 1 or 2 scenes really gory and disturbing, but that's kind of it. And then there's been a few like eerie, jump scary kind of scenes. Those scenes to me feel like what you would watch in a movie and get scared, but reading them, it doesn't feel quite the same. The like scenes that are gory, they're like just disturbing. There's just a lot of disturbing scenes, but I wouldn't say I'm scared, which is kind of good. Like I don't know if I want to be scared, to be honest. Maybe that's not the point, but I am really enjoying the story. I'm happy that even for a book that's over 400 pages, like there are still things that are happening. The plot is moving along, so I am very engaged. Like I still want to keep reading it, which is great. It's not magical. Like it's not like we're not getting like Harry Potter and spells. It's more like what's a good way to explain the witchcraft? You know what? This book gives more magical realism, where it's more like there is a magical element, but it's not like we're in a completely different world with a new set of limitations and like boundaries and a magical system. We're in the very much the real world, where there are mentions of like real life scenarios and like world matters that are going on that are mentioned in this book. There's a reference to 1984 in this book, so we're very much in the real world, but there's a little touch of witchcraft, and it's almost like if you want to believe in it, if you want it to work, it may work. But it's not like we've got a full magical system and it's like we're all immersed in it. So I think that's why it doesn't feel like, I wouldn't even know if I would call this fantasy. Like it's more, it's on the line. It's on the line for me of like fantasy and magical realism. That's how I would say it is. But I understand the idea of witchcraft and like that kind of stuff is a little bit more, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I also think you wouldn't pick up this book if you weren't into like witches and things like that, and magic and doing spells and casting rituals and stuff like that. But yeah, so I will let you guys know how I feel at the end. But yeah, I'm at page 338 out of 482. So yeah. Okay, I've already filmed this once, but the angle was slightly off, so we're gonna redo it. I have an update for you guys. It is Wednesday today, and I finished Witchcraft for Wayward Girls yesterday, so I thought I would give you guys an overall update. I realized I also didn't give you a little summary of what this book is about, so I'll quickly give a recap, no spoilers. This book is based in a house, specifically a home where pregnant, unwed girls are sent. And it's based in the 70s, and a big thing in society there is being pregnant before you are married is seen as the biggest sin, crime, whatever you want to call it. And these girls are completely shunned away, not just by society, but by their own families. And these things called maternity homes were created. These actually existed in the 70s and in that time, to basically house these girls until they could deliver their babies and then be put up for adoption, and then they go back to their families so that they can kind of pretend it never happened. So our main characters are based in this fictional story's house called Wayward House, and there's a lot of drama and scary things that happen and witchcraft that occurs. So yeah, that's the plot of the book. Where do I even start? Probably I'll start with the plot. It was interesting. I'm not gonna say what happens, but I would say for a long book there were things that were happening, and I feel like the setting was really well done so that the story and the plot specifically felt very believable, and I really enjoyed it. The characters I really liked. There were some really funny, like more rebellious characters that were fun to read. But yeah, I think a lot of I think this author was trying to make a commentary and like shed light on these maternity homes, and I think he was trying to use the girls who are the main characters to showcase like what went on in these homes. Let's discuss the horror and let's discuss the fantasy. So in terms of the horror, it's raining so hard right now. I'm so sorry that's distracting, but I'll just continue. The horror element of this book, how do I describe it? Yes, there were a few gory, gross scenes, like disturbing scenes. I wouldn't say they were that bad. As I said, I'm not a avid horror reader. That's the whole point of this. I'm trying to dive into a new genre. So I don't think those scenes scale that high in terms of like horror, ultimate horror scenes. In terms of the fear factor, yeah, I didn't find it that scary. It was a little disturbing at points, but I wouldn't say scary. Back to the fantasy element. I think I was sort of struggling to describe the fantasy element in this book because, as I mentioned before, it's not like a whole make-believe world, a whole new system of magic and rules and powers. It's not like that. It's like we are in the real world. We're in the real 1970s globe, and there's loads of references to real life things, and specifically this book is making a commentary on a real life phenomenon as well. So the witchcraft element, I think, is just a subtle add-in that, yes, there's definitely magic, but it's low-key, I would say. It's a low-key element. And I think it's added in to make a point and to paint a better picture of how these women come across in society and just their whole story. I think the witchcraft is there to just elevate it and to make it what it is to the public, I feel, and how these girls are perceived. It's like, even if they weren't witches, I think society would still label them because that's just what society liked to do at the time. But no, there is actual witchcraft. There is like things that witchy spells and covens and everything. So I don't want to say there's nothing, but it's also not a complete fantasy novel, you know? Yeah, it's kind of a hard one. I would say it definitely builds throughout the book. So there's definitely a point at the end where it's like full force. It feels like a full-blown magic is taking over, but it's a lot more about, I think, a woman's like emotions and like her pain and her suffering, and making a comment on that. That's that one done. I am going to be starting my next read on my iPad, so that's why I don't have the physical copy, but that is Carrie by Stephen King. I thought I would try and read a Stephen King book because he's the father of horror, and that book fits perfectly in horror/fantasy. I will chat to y'all when I next update. Bye. Okay. Welcome back. It's Friday. I thought I would give another update because I realized, ow, I just hit my foot. I realized I started reading Carrie and I didn't give an update on the book, and I'm pretty sure, I think I can finish it today. So I wanted to give an update before I finished a whole new book. What can I update you? So basically we have entered into a complete different universe, but there are so many things that are so similar, which I did not plan, I did not expect. I just picked another horror fantasy book that I wanted to try and dive into and see if I liked the genre. But this one is also set in the 70s. Is that like the era of horror, maybe? There's a lot of like, there's themes of like young girls being the main characters. There's a lot of like using pregnancy and like period talk and using that as like a focal point for the horror scenes, or like it's a major scene in both of the books that I've read in this vlog, which is again really random. Not random, but just maybe there's a reason, I don't know. Anyways, so that's been super interesting. I've really enjoyed Carrie so far. I think that's why I've been able to fly through it so much. So it's like you're going through the story, but we're getting like different people's intel, and we're getting present moment and then past moment. Sorry, we're getting present moment, but also future recalling back into that moment to give more context. So it's like you're reading a book and you're trying to map the story out, and it's being pieced together from different perspectives and different time points, but it flows really well. So I've been really enjoying it. The horror element, I actually don't think it's even that scary. It's more, again, like disturbing. But yeah, it's also a classic, so I feel like I am also trying to picture some of the movies and things I've seen that are newer that have actually been inspired by Carrie. But it's such a good classic. I feel like if you're not into classics or classic scare, this is a great one. Like, it's not too hard to read. It's very digestible. It's entertaining. It's about a prom night that goes really wrong. So I feel like it's very approachable for a book. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. In terms of the fantasy element, I love it. I think it's simple. It's not anything crazy, but it's just kind of straight to the point. And I think that's why a lot of pieces of work, I think I see why a lot of movies and shows and other things have taken inspiration from Carrie and used it. I'm going to finish Carrie, really enjoying it, and I will update you later. Okay, I'm back. I just finished reading Carrie and oh my god, I feel like I just flew through it. Like, I think it has only been 3 days. That's crazy. Anyways, it's not a super long book, so if anyone's looking for a short, classic, entertaining, fast-paced, I'd recommend. But I am going to end the vlog here because I think I was going to start Nettle and Bone, but then I realised I could just keep this reading vlog going and I'm never going to end it. So we'll talk about Nettle and Bone in a different video, but I'm going to quickly recap Carrie because I think it's just pure entertainment. So quick, like plot line wise, what is it about? Carrie is basically following our main character, Carrie White, and she is a young girl in high school who is severely picked on and bullied, and essentially a huge situation goes down on prom night. It's pretty iconic, I feel like, very well known. I still don't want to spoil it, but it's just one of those classics where I feel like you may have probably seen something in like other movies and other shows, as I said. And it's just her way, the story is just what happens to her, how she's treated, and how she gets her revenge, basically. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was not scary at all, as I mentioned before. I loved the ending. It was almost not predictable, but it wasn't predictable, it was just satisfying. Like, I wasn't so I was shocked, I didn't know what was going to happen. You almost were told what's going to happen, but it was still good to just read each part and like see and hear everyone's perspectives, and it was just done really well. So yeah, I loved the plot. The characters were just like quintessential like high school characters, and yeah, like I just loved it. It was great. Just complete switcheroo. I'm just turn around. I am going to be starting Nettle and Bone. That's my next read. It definitely fits into this horror fantasy genre, but I'll probably update you guys about it in my next video or in another reading vlog or whatever it is, because otherwise I could keep this vlog going forever. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading vlog. I hope it was entertaining. I would say major takeaways: try horror/fantasy. It's such a good genre. I think it's like the perfect genre for like a winter cozy autumnal season, and I find that they don't have to be like scary, you know, just pick the themes that you would avoid and you could actually have like a really entertaining read. Like, I wouldn't go for a book that's about stalkers or murdering children or something like that. That might be a little much. So if you avoid the things that you really are scared of, you could still read horror and like have a great time. But yeah, anyways, I am gonna stop this vlog here. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my ramblings and intermittent thoughts as I was reading. Let me know if there's any other genres that I should branch into. I'm pretty like safe and secure in the books that I like, but sometimes I feel I should read. I always feel like I should be reading different kinds of books, and this is just one of those situations. But yeah, I'll see you in my next video, and yeah, see you later.